Quaid Azam, Pot 62. Like so many others who had been through the inns of court, Jinnah upon return became committed to the eradication of British insolence on the one hand and of a feeling of inferiority and mortification by the Indians on the other. Zealous for his reforms, and his enthusiasm was always marked by his sense of constitutional propriety, for which characteristic his great legal practice was to account. He was typical of those who earned influence through their own efforts on merit and by remaining committed to the principles. Possessing no other tools, he employed these very attributes and his principles to combat India's imperial overlords. Jinnah's early training as a lawyer no doubt affected his attitude to relations between Muslim community and the government. Having reached where he had, despite personal and family difficulties, he believed that others too must seek no special treatment in the field of education or elsewhere. When he appeared before the Public Service Commission on 11 March 1913, he was asked by Lord Islington whether he was not concerned that under a system of simultaneous examinations, the backward communities would be at a disadvantage. Jinnah was firm in his views. I would have no objection if the result happens to be of which I am not doubtful, that a particular community has the preponderance, provided I get competent men. It has been represented to me, queried Arlington further, that difficulties might arise if you put a Hindu in charge of Mohammedan population. Do you think that a Hindu who got a few more marks than an educated and influential Mohammedan would make a better or more efficient administrator when he was in charge of a population which was largely Mohammedan? I say, replied Jinnah, that in that case you will be doing the greatest injustice to the Hindu. I do not see why a Hindu should not be in charge of a district where the majority happens to be the Mohammedans. In Jinnah's early years, it was views such as these that made him a member of Indian National Congress and not of the Muslim League, All India Muslim League. Hector Belito, the first official biographer of Jinnah, appointed by the government of Pakistan, quoting Percival Spear from Jinnah, the creator of Pakistan, writes, "To personal integrity, devotion to the principles must be added courage and absence of the petty thought or motives, whether holding the balance between Swaraj and government forces in the assemblies of the mid-20s or facing contumacious resistance in all parties, discussion or pursuing a lonely course against the prestige and authority of Gandhi, the determination of imperial government immersed in a world war, or standing firm against the pressure of the post-war negotiation, Jinnah was not found wanting in courage." For many years, including the time of his marriage, Jinnah had lived in an old Goanese bungalow on Mount Pleasant Road. After Rati's death in 1929, he continued to live there until he went to England in 1930. Upon return in 1934, he demolished the old Goanese bungalow and built the present Jinnah House. During the 2 years of its being built, he lived in a rented home on Little Gibbs Road, a little higher up Malabar Hills. These years were an amalgam of loneliness, mental and moral celibacy, and an integrity so intense that it was a form of self-torture. His virtues were intense, his faults trivial in contrast, and those were the days like it.